Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Tonight I'm going to do a reading on the Idaho killings. It looks like they have a suspect in custody. I haven't read too much on these murders, but it does seem that the police have, they have somebody who was in the area at the time, whose car matched the description of a car that was seen there, whose DNA matches that of a night chief or something like that was at the scene. So it's really likely they have the person who was involved, or at least one person who was involved. I think the speculation is that this was a solo event, one person involved in it. But not so much interested in that. The law will play itself out. To me, what's going to be more interesting is, what was this person's motivation? Why did this person, whoever the murderer was, and it could very well be this Brian Koberger that they've arrested. Certainly the logical mind suggests that. But whoever the murderer was, what was their motivation? Why did they feel the need to end the lives of these four young people? So I'm going to throw cards on that and try and figure out. I'll throw a 4 card and a 6 card on that one. Okay. So why did they do that? Bring the camera on down. Huh. Couple of aces on that one. How interesting. Okay, so why did they do it? It was an intellectual challenge. Now, it could be that there was some speculation that maybe he had a crush on one of these people who was stalking this person. But to me, this was just an intellectual challenge. Can I do this and get away with it? Basically, that sort of trope of creating the perfect crime. And underneath it is the Hierophant, the government, the police force, the FBI. He was studying apparently he's getting a PhD in criminology. So it's going to be, was he going to write a thesis on murdering people? But I mean, it's just, he's trying to prove to himself that he's better than the institutions. He's smarter. He's more clever. And so he formulated a plan to go forward with it, and he was going to be famous. He's, not Jack the Ripper, like Jack the Ripper famous, Ted Bundy famous. So this mass murderer who gets away with all these murders and people don't know who he is. And, it was a foolish thing to do. Maybe he thought he could turn a profit on it. I don't think that's the case. I think he got a foolish idea and he went ahead and ran with it. So that's what I'm getting on that one. His ego just, as I open that up, the Ace of Swords was also in the middle of that. Yeah, this guy, it's ego. Pure ego. So, now that we've, my interpretation is that it's, ego and intellectual base, I want to find out what's going through his mind now. What's going through the murderer's mind right now? The murderer may not be Brian Koberg, innocent until proven guilty and all that, although I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now. Even if I was innocent, I wouldn't want to have all the evidence they currently have against me. It would be hard to come up with reasonable doubt. You can probably come up with unreasonable doubt, but not reasonable doubt. All right. So the murderer, the person who killed these four young people, what are they thinking right now? What's their mindset? A little bit. I actually burned some sandalwood before I did this reading because this is not the type of energy one wants to take lightly. I said a protective prayer. I've got my candles going, but yeah, I got some sandalwood going too for a little extra protection on that one. Got my little battery of crystals out here. All right, but what's this person thinking now? I don't think they're going to have a conscience. I don't think there's going to be any guilt or shame. This is just going to be I think it's going to be part of the intellectual challenge, Go through this one more time here. See if anything wants to leap out. Nope. Okay. That's part of the challenge. Let's bring it on down. We'll find out. Queen of Wands. Okay. Now, we're assessing the situation. Now I've done what I've done. I've got my idea. Now I'm going to plan my strategy going forward with it. Okay, jump in the past. Oh God. Right now he's thinking he's a star. Lovely. Page of Swords. Put together. King of Swords. Oh, he's going to graduate. Judgment. Okay. So what is this person thinking right now? Okay, so Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands it's a card of planning, of assessing a situation. Usually the queens are very nurturing. In this case, I don't think that this. Basically, to me, they're planning their next set of actions. There's no emotion with this. This is fire energy. This is all. There's no. As I look through here, other than the star card, there are no cups that are showing up. There's pentacles and swords, but the center part of that is wands. And underneath the underneath energy is the judgment. So he's gearing up now for his alibi, his legal defense. Yeah. I would be stunned if the murderer admits, if the murderer's this guy Brian, if he admits to doing it. Sociopaths will do that, but he's planning his next logical move. In the past, he had the Two of Pentacles. This could be that he was juggling a couple of different ideas. I think the Two of Pentacles more is. Yeah, I think it's the two ideas. He wasn't sure what he was going to do. On the one hand, he was on the lam and he was evading people, but I think on the other hand, he kind of wanted to get to this stage on it. Or he wasn't that concerned with getting to this stage. He was hiding things. He had hidden things on that one, and if they couldn't find it, well, great. He got away with it. But if they did find it, well, okay, cool. Then the mental challenge the stakes are upped for it. This is the disturbing card. The current way of the murderer is thinking about this is that they're the star. They've got what they've wanted. Their hopes and dreams are fulfilled. That's twisted. So I think of that as the lower energy part of that card. This person's not going to be famous and beloved. They're going to be infamous and despised. But I don't believe they care. That they don't care if they're the villain or the hero in this case. They're okay with either one. What the overarching energy is currently is the Page of Swords. Now, this is interesting because it's a young person waving a sword, which can be like a spy in the camp. It can be somebody who's maybe he's concerned somebody has turned information on him. If he worked, or if he told somebody, if he was working with somebody else, this person might have betrayed him. The impression I get is this person did it by themselves, and they don't know what they're doing. They've got this sword, and they're flinging, and they're just waving it about, thinking that they're skilled, and they're not that skilled. I think that's what it's going to take away from this. And it could also be, if he had an infatuation with one of the women, it could be something like this. But I'm not seeing anything that would indicate to me that he had any infatuation with these people, or anything like that. Again, this to me just seems like this was an intellectual, ego-based item. The lesson to be learned is the Three of Pentacles. It's about group work. There's three people in that scenario. I don't know if he was intending on killing 4 people. Maybe he was only intending killing 3. But really, what I think the lesson to be learned is that he wants to be the star. He wants to be the center of the show. but he's not going to be able to do it on his own. He's going to have to work with people. Probably a couple of lawyers will need to represent him. I believe currently the fellow under arrest has a public defender helping him, but he's going to need if this person Brian is the one who's guilty of this, he's going to need a lot more than that. So whoever did this, they're going to need a lot of help if they're going to progress with this. The outcome is the King of Swords. So the Queen of Swords was their motivation. This person thinks that their outcome is they're going to come out on top of this. Their ego just says, yep, I'm graduating. I'm going to be the King of Swords. I am going to be the smartest person in the room. I am going to outfox and outgame the system. But again, underneath it is judgment. And I think that's a really powerful card in that, well, he's going to be, the murderer is going to be going to trial, and they're going to be caught, and they're going to be judged, and they're going to be found guilty. So, again, if this fellow Brian is the person who did that, and all signs seem to point to yes, they're in a bunch of trouble. And I don't know if he realizes it yet. He thinks this is a game. That is just disturbing. Okay. So anyways, that's my reading on the Idaho killings and what the murderer was motivated by and what he's currently feeling now. Thank you.